for industrial development in Limpopo. The economic recovery team is being led by the head of infrastructure and investment, Dr. Kgosientso Ramokgopa. The Musina-Makhado Special Economic Zone is just one of 27 in the country expected to help bolster economic growth. Ramokgopa says 1 trillion rand in investment is expected to be raised to help accelerate growth in the next 4 years. For more, let's cross live now to our colleague Lutendo Bobodi. Lutendo, a very good morning to you. We've seen Mr. Ramokgopa posting about what they're doing in Limpopo now. What's the latest?
Yeah, thank you so much, Desri. We are in Zebediela here. This is the 92-year-old iconic Zebediela citrus farm. It used to be one of the biggest, or the biggest citrus farm in the southern hemisphere, generating an enormous amount of revenue over the years, and being an economic lifeline for thousands and thousands of people around here. But no, things started petering down when ownership was transferred to Communal Property Association, and there was no real production. That before that, it used to export to different countries around the world. Now the boat started rocking after that, allegations of corruption, allegations of plundering, and people losing their jobs, salary cuts, lack of electricity, lack of water, and everything just, all hell just broke loose at the time, and nothing was really happening. But now there's been a promise of about 500 million rand cash injection that will be put here to kind of resuscitate this project in order for people around here to get jobs and have a better living. And to talk about that, I'm joined by Masopa Mshosha from the Office of the President. Mr. Mshosha, thank you so much for your time. Talk to us about this cash injection, 500 million rands. That's astronomical figures.
Yes, so there's a significant need for infrastructure upgrades in the farm, and as we all understand, the fiscus is under enormous pressure, even in a pre-COVID scenario. So the way in which we are using infrastructure as a flywheel and to fund it is to crowd in the private sector. So as such, we'll be working with the provincial authority and the local community to package this project to make it attractive for external and private infrastructure investment.
Yeah, I see the buildings here. They're quite old. Some of them built in the early 30s.
Sure.
And also the projects in the trees there, the need to be revived. Do you think this 500 million will be sufficient?
Well, there's a process that we go through where we work with our technical working groups to be able to assess exactly what the project can afford, because this funding comes in the form of private sector investment, private sector debt and equity, and as such it needs to be able to uplift the farm and make it more productive, but at the same time guarantee that the funds invested will be repaid. So I think that the 500 million is an estimate at this point. We need to understand what is required in order to optimize the farm, to be able to secure the jobs that are here, to be able to crowd in the youth. The farm and the community is looking to create more youth employment, to be able to diversify away from citrus, even though that will be a core part of it. But the process itself will allow us to understand what the farm can and cannot afford and what it does and does not need.
Okay. And one of the flagship projects, the Makhado Musina Economic Zone, talk to us about that. How far along are you?
So, that's a catalytic project for the province. We understand that Limpopo is a rural province, and there's this dichotomy between your more industrialized provinces who are attracting investment, but we need to make sure that we don't leave the rural provinces behind. So Limpopo has an ambition to become an industrial hub, and I think the opportunities to trade through the Africa Free Trade Agreement, Continental Free Trade Agreement, puts them in a position to be able to maximize our output into the rest of the continent. But there's requirements there in terms of bulk infrastructure, in terms of water, in terms of energy, and the associated infrastructure. So that's a catalytic project for the province, and the need for the supporting infrastructure in terms of the Musina Dam and the Sand River Dam that also allows us to deal with the water shortage for the province as a whole, all the way down to Polokwane. So that project really, I think, is probably top 3 catalytic projects for the province in terms of its ambition to industrialize.
Thank you so much for your time, right?
No problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Desri. You talked about the issue of water. We talked about it yesterday. It's an essential component to reviving this project. And, there's just no water in the province. It's just insufficient, dams plummeting, not sufficient rainfalls. And also the 500 million promised here. People around here are hoping that, of course, that will happen. We've seen projects like this, money is being promised to revive project, but nothing popped up. And we think that if that happens, the boat here will be rowed, and people will be able to get jobs and employment, and of course there'll be better living for people around here.
Lutendo, thank you so much for bringing us up to speed in terms of those conversations about reviving the economy in the Limpopo province. Transport Minister